I've always thought gardening, in a way, can be compared to some city planning. It's always nice to watch something expand and grow, just like we like to watch the city expand and grow. Now, I put a lot of thought into my gardens and the expansion of the gardens. Now, the one thing that is a lot different gardening compared to city planning is the fact that if you make a mistake in gardening, it's easy to correct. This berry bush here has grown a lot bigger than I originally expected. So today, I'm just going to dig it up and find a new home for it. In city planning, we need to start planning right from the very beginning because we can't move subdivisions, can't move factories. And that's why it's so important that when we discuss city planning, that we put a little bit more thought than we have been lately into how we're going to continue to develop the City of London.
I moved to London back in 1993 so that I could attend at Fanshawe College, and I found a nice basement suite near Adelaide and Huron. I thought that it was great that with my 10-speed I could travel easily to wherever I needed to go. Quite often I'd find myself biking past the earliest homes of London with their lovely gardens and solid architecture.
Now, if there's one thing that really brings people and their community together, it's fine food. And throughout the city, it is so wonderful to see small restaurants, homes that have been renovated to become community hub restaurants.
Examples of this sort of community interaction are present throughout the downtown core areas, and I believe that this is a fine example of urban planning. As I continued, I looked forward to reaching the Thames River bike path for a refreshing ride into the downtown. I traveled quite freely without a need for a car, and I was getting lots of exercise. I thought that it was great to be living in a city that had almost everything I could ever need existing within arm's reach of me and the ease with which I could get around. London was, and still is, great for having this style of lifestyle available throughout its core regions. Soon after the Second World War, a population explosion shook the world, affecting every community around the globe. Urban planners had abandoned the concept of core regions, and so, instead of communities continuing to be built where people could live close to the areas where they worked, subdivisions, shopping malls, and industrial areas became the standard building practice. The earliest stages of this new trend saw the birth of community mini-malls. Small, unpretentious commercial centers that provide simple amenities for the immediately surrounding community. People were easily able to walk to these centers if they wanted to rent a movie, get a cool drink, a hot pizza, meet with friends, or get their hair styled for a night out. Sports fields and other recreational areas were also built within walking distance, making it very easy for local residents to attend these community activities. The automobile was playing an ever-increasing role in our lives, but it remained unnecessary for shopping and recreation of this nature. Suddenly, we found ourselves very isolated and divided, living in walled-in housing developments, far from even the most basic amenities. To investigate this matter further, I spent some time in one of London's most recent housing developments.
And for the last hour, I've seen nothing but vehicles. People driving, getting in their cars, getting out of their cars, driving. Nobody's walking because, well, in these new subdivisions, there's nowhere to walk to. Where are the schools? Where are the playgrounds? Where are the soccer?
These new trends in urban development have forced us to be completely dependent on the automobile for every aspect of our lives.
And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize the consequences of this type of lifestyle.
believe that the path for a future lies in combining the strengths of the many different building styles that have been developed over the last 150 years. I see a future filled with many exciting core regions surrounding the city, comparable to the Wortley Village, downtown Byron, or London's very own downtown core, with shops on street level and work studios and apartments above. Imagine rooftops filled with restaurants, green spaces, as well as greenhouse gardens. Just around any corner, we'll see residential communities using both historical city block style planning as well as unique crescents and cul-de-sacs, with neighborhoods rich with small nature trails, community green spaces for sporting events, and neighborhood garden plots surrounded with small orchards. We need to redevelop ideas like the mini mall and the corner store to bring simple amenities within easy reach for nearby families. We also need to create opportunities for more Londoners to establish home-based businesses within residential regions. As we rethink the needs of our greater community, we will also need to reestablish our relationship with nature and surrounding ecosystems. Historically, and just occasionally, the handiwork of man and nature seemed to fit perfectly together, complementing each other, creating and enriching harmony.
So let's be inspired by examples such as this as we think of new and creative ways to build a future that our children will be proud of and our grandchildren.